Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we are going to see how to solve certain popular questions that comes under quantitative aptitude section of some leading placement websites. Okay, they are placement partners for various software companies and various other companies also. It is related to technical as well as non-technical. So we will see the very popular questions and very commonly asked questions in these websites. So this is the first type of question. So percent profit earned when an article is sold for 546 is double the percent profit earned when the same article is sold for rupees 483. If the market price of an article is 40% above the cost price, what is the market price of the article? Okay. Here they have given two selling prices. One selling price is 546, other selling price is 483. And they have given whatever is a profit percentage earned by selling the article for 483 and by selling it for 546, they'll earn double the profit percentage. Say, I'll just give you a rough example. If you have purchased an item for 100 rupees, okay, if your first selling price is 120 rupees, it means there is a 20% profit, right? Suppose you sell the same article for 140 rupees, then there is a profit of 40%. Try to understand this example. I have purchased a product for 100 rupees. Suppose I sell it for 120, I'm getting 20% profit. Or if I'm selling for 140, I'll be getting 40% profit. Here, I can say by selling an article for rupees 140, I am getting double the profit percentage as compared to selling it for 120. Hope you understand this. So the same logic is applied here also. Here if you see the difference between these two selling price 140 and 120, whatever is this profit percentage, the same amount of additional profit is what you are gaining by selling it for 140. So difference between this 140 and 120 is 20. This is actually the extra profit earned. It means this is the double profit earned. So there is one amount of this profit in this first selling price also. By subtracting that amount, you will get the cost price. Okay, so just have a thought at this particular simple example if you have not got it. So the same logic we are applying here. Now similar to this example, let us assume cost price here is X rupees. Okay, cost price here is X rupees. Now what is the first selling price? What is the first selling price? First selling price is 546. This is with double profit. Okay, and this is with certain percentage of profit. We will take the difference between these two. So the difference between these two is 63 rupees. Okay, this is 63 rupees. See, this is the additional profit earned by selling it at 546 rupees. Same as our previous example. So the difference between these two is 20 and this 20 rupees is the extra profit earned here, right? So that is the amount of profit earned here also. So now this 63 rupees is actually the profit earned in this case. So we will find out, we will subtract 63 from that also. So cost price is 483 minus 63 rupees. We will get 420 rupees is the cost price. Hope you understood this. Let us assume cost price as X rupees and selling price is 546 and 483. Two different selling price they have given. In the first case, we get double the profit. So difference between this is that extra profit. So that extra profit 63 is the same amount of profit earned by selling it at 483 also. So we subtract that 63 from 483, we get 420 rupees. So we are not bothered what is that profit percentage because what we need to find is market price. Okay, and market price is 40% above the cost price. So if I know the cost price, then what is market price? 40% above the cost price, which is if you have seen our previous videos, percentage factor is something we will be using in all the percentage related questions. So 1.4 times x is the market price, so that is 40% more. So about this percentage factor I'll make a detailed video, that's going to be the upcoming video. Right now, to find out 40%, we'll just add 40% of it. So what is market price? 420 cost price plus 40% of it. So to find out 40%, I will add 10% 4 times. What is 10%? So in 420, 10% is 42, right? So just exclude the last digit if it is a 0. Otherwise, you have to put a decimal point there. So here 10% is 42 rupees. So 40% is 4 times this 10%. Okay, so I'll just take it that way. You get 168 rupees. This is extra 40%. Now add this, we get 588 rupees. That is the market price. Option A. So now let's go to the next question. A vessel contains 180 liters of mixture of milk and water in the respective ratio of 13:5. 54 liters of this mixture was taken out and replaced with 6 liters of water. What is the approximate percentage of water in the resultant mixture? So initially, milk and water ratio is 13:5 and the quantity is 180 liters. Okay, 180 liters. Now, how much was milk and water? If you observe, 13 plus 5 is 18. Okay, and the total is 180. So in such cases, whenever you have this ratio given, it means 1 liter is divided into 18 parts, and out of that 18 parts, 13 parts is milk and 5 parts is water. Okay, so the total will always be a multiple of 18. So in this case, we see there is 180 liters. So clearly milk is 130 liters and water is 50 liters. So now the total becomes 180 liters. Okay, now 54 liters of milk mixture was taken out. Milk is, every liter is divided into 18 parts, 13 parts is milk. And what is water? 5 out of 18 parts is water. This is for every liter. And how many liters are we considering here? 54 liters. 54 liters is taken out. So 54 liters we consider here. Here also 54. So this is 3. 39 liters of milk and 15 liters of water are removed in 54 liters of the mixture. Okay, so what is the new milk is to water ratio? Initially we had 130 liters of milk and 50 liters of water. From that, we have removed 54 liters of the mixture, and we have found that in that 54 liters of mixture, 39 liters were milk and 15 liters were water. So that is removed. 39 liters of milk is gone, 15 liters of water is gone. Now, what is the replacement done? We are replacing it with 6 liters of water. So in water, I add plus 6. Now we'll simplify this. We get 91 here and this is minus 941. Now what does this mean? The total quantity. Now we'll add these two. So 91 plus 41 is 132. Okay. So out of 132 quantity, 91 portions is milk and 41 portions are water. Now what is the question? What is the approximate percentage of water in the resultant mixture? We don't have to find how much quantity is there. If they ask you quantity, see 180 liters was the quantity. From 180 liters, we have removed 54 liters and then we have added 6 liters. So this will be the quantity of resultant mixture. but that is not what they have asked. They have asked approximate percentage of water. So what is water percentage? What is water percentage? So 41 is water quantity out of 132 parts into 100. Okay, 41 by 132 into 100. Suppose, so whenever you have questions like this, you need to take the approximate values. So to consider approximate values, suppose this was, I will usually, how I solve usually is, I take the approximate values. So here instead of 41, I will take it as 40. If it was 40, then I can cancel with 10. I can cancel with 4. I get 4 tens are, and here I get 4 33s are. Okay. So now again 10 by 33. If it was 11, here again if it was 11, we all know 11 by 33 is 1 by 3, which is 33.33%. Okay, but we don't have 11, we have 10. So it is lesser than 33.33%. So the answer is option B, 31%. So there is a quick way of writing it without doing so much of calculations. So how you have to write is milk is to water ratio. Initially 130 liters, and here we have 50 liters. Then from this we subtract 13 out of 18 portions of 54 liters. Here 5 by 18 portions of 54 liters. So this is the resultant quantity, and then we are adding 6 liters of water. So by this, by simplifying this, we can get the answer. That is solving this in single line. Same calculations, but instead of two lengthy solution, we just have it in a smaller way, compact way. That's all. But the calculations are same. If you observe the above values, the calculations are exactly, the numbers are exactly same. Okay. So this is another way of, if you have enough practice, you can write it in single step like this. Now let's see what is the next question. So the next question is based on time, speed and distance. So by walking at 3/4 of his usual speed, a man reaches his office 20 minutes later than his usual time. The usual time taken by him to reach his office is. So to solve this type of question, we use a concept called as constant product. So what is this constant product concept is? Usually wherever you have three quantities, in such questions, see we have here time, speed and distance, three quantities, right? So like this, wherever you have three quantities, one quantity will be remaining constant. The other two quantities will vary. Say for example here, in this particular problem, a man is traveling from his home to office, and this is the distance he is traveling. The distance remains same always, right? What varies is, so he is traveling with, if his speed increases, he travels with a greater speed, then time decreases, or if he goes slowly, then time increases. So these two are the quantities that changes, but distance remains same. So we use the speed equals to distance by time formula. Speed equals to distance by time, and we see that distance is a constant product here. So from this formula I'll write distance is equal to speed into time. Now distance is constant, so we write S1 T1 is equal to S2 T2. What is S1 T1? Old or previous speed and time. The usual speed and usual time. S2 T2 is new speed and new time. Okay. So we don't know what is S1 and T1. What they have asked is find his usual time. So we are supposed to find T1. Okay. So we don't know what is S1 and T1. We'll just take it as it is, S1 into T1. He travels at certain speed and he takes certain minutes of time. Here answers are given in minutes. So let us assume time here considered as minutes. Now, if he walks 3/4 of his usual speed, means the new speed is 3/4 of his usual speed. Then he reaches 20 minutes later, means he takes 20 minutes more time than his usual time. What is his usual time? T1 plus 20 minutes he takes. Okay. Now we simplify this. S1 gets cancelled. 4 goes to other side. T1 is equal to 3 by 4 into T1 plus 20. We take 4 to the other side. It becomes 4T1 equals to 3T1 plus 60. Therefore, 3T1 goes to LHS, it becomes minus 3T1. So we get T1 equals to 60 minutes. Based on the options, if required, you can convert it to hours. But here the options is in minutes only. So option B, 60 minutes is the answer. Now let's see the next question. In a bag, there are coins of 25 paise, 10 paise and 5 paise in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 3. If there is 30 rupees in total, how many 5 paise coins are there in the bag? Okay. So what are the types of coins? We have 25 paise coins, and then we have 10 paise coins, and then we have 5 paise coins. So what is the ratio? 1 is to 2 is to 3. So this is the ratio of number of coins. Okay, this is the ratio of number of coins. Now, what will be the value? Now, what is the question? You have to find number of 5 paise coins. Okay, number of 5 paise coins. See, 5 paise coins in the ratio, it is 3. Means number of 5 paise coins should be a multiple of 3. Number of 5 paise coins must be a multiple of 3. Now 50 is not a multiple of 3. 100 is not a multiple of 3. So these two are not our answers. It can be 150, and 220 is also not a multiple of 3. So even this is wrong. So only option available is 150. You can mark it straight away. So this is guessing the answer without even solving it. Okay. Be careful when you're using this technique. If none of these is one of the options, then you can't solve it this way. So here, let us confirm that 150 is the answer. Suppose we have 150 coins. Suppose we have 150 5 paise coins. Now this ratio is 3, and it means it is 150 coins. So we are supposed to multiply 50 here, right? 3 into 50 gives you 150. Similarly, 2 into 50 gives you 100. This is also number of coins only. And 1 into 50 gives you 50. Clear? This is number of coins. Now I'll write the value of these coins. So to write the value, we'll just multiply paise with number of coins. Each coin is 25 paise, and we have 50 such coins. So this is 1250 paise plus 10 paise into 100 coins is 1000 paise plus 5 paise into 150 coins is 750 paise. Okay, this is the value. So when we add, we get 3000 paise, which is equal to rupees 30. Okay, so that is what is given here, 30 rupees. Okay, so hope these concepts are clear. If you have any specific questions to be solved, or any specific topic which you want us to explain in detail, then I have provided a link in the description. So we have our WhatsApp number also, and we have our email ID as well mentioned in the description. You can send your queries to that number, and we will definitely make a video for solving those questions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get the notification. So help us to reach 1000 subscribers, which will motivate us to do more such videos. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.